So Dennis, thank you for being on our hot seat today.
Thank you for inviting me, Terry.
Yeah, no, really cool. Dennis, I want to know, firstly, thank you for your photo. That's an incredible photo. Want to know where you are from and what do you actually do for a living?
Hi, everyone. I'm from Singapore, and I'm working as a pharmacist in one of our restructured hospitals.
Yeah, okay. Did you say a pharmacist right at the hospital? Is that right?
Yeah, correct. Pharmacist at the hospital, yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. And I want to go back in time and just ask you the question, what's been your relationship with not only finance, but also investing when you were growing up?
Before Freedom Trader, I actually don't have any experience in investing or trading at all. The only thing I did with my money was put in insurance, endowment funds, savings plans, etc. But in those plans and funds, I don't take an active position in managing them. It's all done by the relevant insurance companies and insurance consultant.
Okay, so really in the end, it was all passive, and you, they looked after it, not you. There was no direct involvement. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey Dennis, can I just check whether Rick has got Richard's just put a echo? I think Dennis, there's a bit of a high echo on your mic at the moment. So because you're in a room with that echo, it's hard to hear you because of the echo. Don't know whether things can be changed on the mic. Dennis, can I check? Do you have a headset at all?
Hold on, maybe I can get one. Give me a moment.
Yeah, okay, no worries. Yeah, thanks, Dennis. Yeah, I think that's going to help. Yeah, thanks everyone for letting me know. It'll be good to yeah. I do also feel the echo. I'm okay. It's probably because I've been to Singapore so many times that I can understand the accent and I make out what he's saying. But I do understand with the echo, it makes it much harder. Yeah, I want to show you Dennis's his Excel spreadsheet. It's actually off the charts. So I want to really know what's been his secret to all the wins he's had and the type of returns he's getting as well. Yeah, there's a lot of comments about Dennis's photo. Yeah, when I asked for it and I got this back, I said, "Oh, if you've got a photo of yourself or your family, love to have it." And out of the three, you can tell who shines the most. his little baby. Yeah, I've actually met Dennis in person when I was in Singapore back then, a number of years ago now, of course, pre-COVID. And he's just like his son, smiles a lot. And very happy, go lucky guy as well. So guys, if you can stay on the line, please stay on the line. I want you to see Dennis's results.
Is the sound better? I changed to another room.
Yeah, so much better. Yes. Dennis, can you say something?
Hello. Is this better, everyone?
Yes. I don't think there's any more echo. Everyone, can you just confirm there's no echo anymore? Yeah, far better. And Dennis, thank you. Yeah, it's really good. Really, really cool.
Okay.
Hey, Dennis, is that your wife in the background?
Yeah.
She can say hello.
Yeah,
she's a star. She's the star of the show right now. Anyway, with the photo, so it's really cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's begin again.
Okay.
So thanks, Dennis, so far. So I'd love to know, when you didn't do Blueprint back then. I know you mentioned that most of your investments was passive through the insurance companies, the endowment funds, things like that. Yeah. Did you actually ever invest yourself in the past or not?
Honestly, never. Because back in those days, I was the kind of guy who is apprehensive about doing stocks. When I hear the word stocks, to me, the first thing is, high risk. The safe way is just to let the insurance company do it for you.
Right.
So never touched it at all. Honestly, never.
Okay.
Never even think about touching it.
Yeah. Okay. But then I know it's been almost about two-ish years now. So what made that change when you met me back in Singapore? Like, because of course you're apprehensive, but then what changed your mind to say, oh yes, I could do it, and I want to give this a shot as well, a trial?
So back then when I met you in Singapore, before I met you, one of my insurance consultant was actually Isabel.
Oh, Isabel, okay, yes.
Already in Freedom Trader Blueprint Group. So she shared her experience with you, with me, and because personally I'm someone who works, I love systems. I love working objectively. So when she told me that this is something that is objective in nature, that you, Terry, you have a system for how to go about doing this, I wanted to give it a shot because it suits my mannerism of doing things. And it so happened that at the point in time when she shared that with me, you're also coming to Singapore. So I took a leap of faith and I went to hear you out, and I thought, okay, maybe this is something that I could give it a try, knowing the risk involved and all, but it suits my appetite. So I gave it a shot, and here I am.
Okay. And when you first started, I want to know, what was it like when you actually got started the very first time?
Oh, actually, it's a very memorable start.
Right.
Because when I first made my trade, my eldest son is in the picture, was born not too long later.
Yes.
And then Wuhan closed down because of the coronavirus outbreak.
Right.
So frankly speaking, my start wasn't a great start.
Okay.
During the initial few months, my portfolio value went down because of the coronavirus outbreak, and that was one of the times where, oh no, I was telling myself, oh no,
all right,
what a start,
Yeah.
But then I continued to come into inner circle, listening to you, listening to the members, and I just told myself that, okay, never mind, it's okay, Dennis. As long as you don't sell out anything, you're not actualizing any loss. Just keep it there. When the outbreak sort of cools down a bit, things start to get better, then we can get back a bit on track. So it was a emotional few months then and then, but I'm glad that I managed to brave through that to today.
Okay. And what would you say, because it was quite a memorable start, what would you say through this period, what would you say would be like a what I call an aha moment, like a light bulb type moment that you've experienced so far, as in what you've learned, the lessons, the major lessons?
I think the important aha moment is a matter of resilience. So as I think we have seen so far in the markets, there's been always that one or two nights of very strength that pushes the market down quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think the resilience here makes me be able to brave to take advantage the next moment when the market picks up again.
Yeah.
That's one.
Yeah.
The other thing is also to be able to look at your portfolio value drops and tell yourself that this is paper value. If there's no sales, you brave it through. When things pick up again, you're not actualizing any loss at the moment. So, and a lot of this came from those initial few months when I was doing this with you, because I think the emotional control there, it's really the very big aha point. And the other thing is position sizing. I think that's a really very important safety lesson, because it really takes away the fear of losing big, because when you put in 0.5%, 1%, you keep to those rules, right? You don't score big, yes, but it's okay because you don't lose big either. And I think that's much more important to me.
Yeah.
Scoring little and not losing big.
Yeah. And it gives you that, would you say it just gives you that stable feeling, sleep at night factor, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. And I think, earlier I mentioned about people said, how, I think there was a comment, how long it will take to become pro and emotionless. And I think the time you started was you said a memorable time, is because it's a good thing, because you started at a time when it was actually quite, you started, and then the volatility of coronavirus hit just literally when you were starting. So then you got to experience the real roller coaster ride very early in your investment career to see how bad things can get. But then, of course, you see the recovery as well, how things can recover very quickly as well. So you experiencing the bad right at the beginning is far better than you never experiencing it, and then you get way overconfident, and then later experiencing something bad and wiping out a lot of your profits in one go would have been actually more painful.
Yep, I couldn't agree more, Terry. I'm looking back, I'm actually quite glad that although it's not a good start, but it is a foundation. It is a start that builds the emotional foundations for the longer periods to come.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's very cool. So now these days, how much time do you actually spend on managing your portfolio now? Would you say?
For me, a typical day at a portfolio, because for me here in Singapore, market opens at local time 9:30 p.m.
Yeah.
So I also took one piece of advice back when I started listening to your Freedom Trader course, where don't enter the market in the first hour when it opens. So I wait till 10:30 local time, then I start looking into my portfolios, buy and sell. So usually by latest 11:30, 12 a.m. I'll be done already, and I will go back and I can go back to sleep.
Right. Okay. And then because you're in Singapore and your time zone, when I was in Singapore, I put on limit orders, and a lot of our students are also from Western Australia, Perth, and they've got the same time zone as you as well, 2 or 3 hours behind Sydney. So your type of orders, are you putting in? I'm assuming you're not waking up early in the morning to put in a closed market order, but you're putting limit orders. Is that right?
I use limit orders, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So therefore, the limit orders are getting done while you're when you're sleeping. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. Exactly.
Oh, awesome. And what would you say that out of every? I mean, I see the number of trades you've done. Out of every 10 trades, how many? Because they're limit orders and they're not market on close orders, how many would you say get executed based on the limit that you put in?
Actually, almost all of them.
Nice. Okay.
Almost all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so really, what you're saying is there's not much difference by putting a limit order. There's still not much difference of doing that versus early in the morning and putting the market on close. Would you say?
Yeah, I think whichever time zone fits you, either way is fine.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, that's good. Hopefully, everyone on the line got that, because I know some of you said, "Oh no, I'm not in. I'm in a time zone that's not in Sydney. It's disadvantaged, whatever." But I'm showing you now, Dennis, being in Singapore. While I was in Singapore, I couldn't be bothered waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning to do my trade. So I also do the same thing as Dennis, put the limit order based on the last close. And what I found while I was there, about 90% of my orders still went through anyway. And Dennis is just confirming that pretty much almost all of them still get done, which is great. Yeah. And Dennis, can I check on the buy side? You're able to put limit orders, but on the sell side, are you doing the same thing as well?
Yep, I'm still doing the same thing also.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. And they also get executed as well on the sell side. Oh.
Yep, almost all. Yep.
Yeah, nice. Really good. Cool. Dennis, are you okay if I bring up your spreadsheet right now and we just go through it?
Sure, no problem.
Yeah. All right. So everyone, this is the part that I'm very excited about to show. So, okay. Can everyone let me know if you can see Dennis's spreadsheet at the moment that he's online, that he was kind enough to share with us? Okay. Yes. Okay. Great. So what I've done is I've just reorganized. I told Dennis to don't worry about giving me the dollar figures for privacy reasons. Just give me the companies, dates, the ROIs on percentages. And what I've done is I've literally ranked them from the worst loss possible, which was the first one. Dennis, January 2020, was that sort of the time that you started?
Yeah, correct.
Oh,
That's
nice.
also
Okay.
when the coronavirus outbreak started also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see, Dennis literally started 2 months prior to coronavirus, by the way. So this is just letting you know that he didn't start at the best time. So it's okay as well. So you can see his worst loss was Wells Fargo at 33% or 32%. And that one, he was very patient, waited almost an entire year, 358 days. And then the next one was down to 11 and so on. So in terms of losses wise, these are literally the losses that Dennis has gone through in that 1.5 year period. And Dennis, while I've got this, is there anything you want me to want to say about this?
Yeah, I think you mentioned patience. I think that's also what I was having back then, to keep the stocks there, keep the buys there, waiting for that opportunity to buy in again to neutralize the loss. I think Wells Fargo is one of the examples where I have a second position a year after or so. when the price when the price was cheap enough to go in with the technicals as well. And I think overall, when I sold it, it was at a slight profit margin.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that's one.
Yeah. Okay. So even though I'm showing you, I'm showing everyone the losses here. This is basically the loss, the ones you had a loss, but a lot of them you had a second position that became a profit. So overall, you neutralize the loss anyway. Is that right?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So just want to explain everyone position size, why we say it's so important, because it allowed Dennis to take on board another one down the track. So some of them you might say, oh, wow, he suffered a 32% loss, but he held this one for almost an entire year. But likely during that time, he also picked up another Wells Fargo or a Boston Scientific down the track. And then that those other second, third positions would neutralize this initial loss. So overall would be either a very small, would have been a small profit, or potentially would have minimized the loss even further as well. Would that be right, Dennis? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And just I'm just going to highlight this as well. I would say, just looking at this, Dennis, I would say the reason why you're comfortable, one, holding it this long, but also picking up another one, is that because of the stocks they are. In other words, Wells Fargo, Boston, US Bancorp, Gilead, Merck, AbbVie, Costco, Gilead, Cisco. So part of me feels like, is it because these companies are major companies that you probably understand or know, and therefore you're comfortable? And if these were, for example, say some speculative, unknown type stocks that mining, exploration, commodities, you would not be as confident holding it long term and even buying more. Is that right?
Yeah, you're right, Terry. Because for these stocks, especially the ones that were in January 2020 when I first started, these stocks were bought out of going through your inner circle sessions. So they were things that I had a basis to start researching from. And they are definitely not those speculative ones where nobody has said anything about them.
Okay.
So on a risk comfort level, that already takes care of it. So like what you mentioned, because of this basis that brought me into the stocks in the first place, I had no issues buying a second one to potentially neutralize or break even the losses.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So this is actually a very important lesson, guys, that Dennis has just taught as well, is that the stocks that he's picked up, obviously the benefit of being in Inner Circle, which I was sharing anyway. So Dennis saw these stocks within Inner Circle's reports, but him buying these stocks allowed him to hold them for, in some cases, beyond, this one, beyond 1 year, but then along the way picking up more and neutralizing literally all those losses along the way as well, only because these were major companies that he was comfortable with. And down a track, this is actually a very important point, because if these were smaller stocks, then that would have been an issue that either one, he'd panic and sell out earlier and therefore have a bigger loss or many more losses, or two, would never pick on a second one and therefore neutralize that loss anyway. So yeah. So would that be right, Dennis? Nicely summarized?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Everyone, can I just check in? Does that make sense for everyone? Yeah. Okay. Cool. And Dennis, I'm just going to go through, sometimes you see how, for example, 124 days, right? And again, things don't always go. People say, why do we not have? Why isn't there a profit target or whatever? In the end, we'll never know. Based on this, there's a lot of trades that they're sub even 2%, rates of return. And we never really know ultimately where the stock's going to go. All we can do is just take on board non-emotional that Dennis is doing. And you might say, oh, why do you even bother? But just bear in mind, these days, I'm not sure what Singapore banks now pay, Dennis, but I'm pretty sure they're paying 0.1, 0.2 per annum. Is that right at the moment?
Yeah. At best is 0.25%.
Yeah, I remember when I was in Singapore, Dennis, when I was opening up a Singapore bank account, because I was teaching in Singapore, and they said, it was OCBC Bank, and they said, I've got a very good surprise for you. We can double your opening this account. We'll give you double the interest rate, and they were so excited to tell me, and it was 0.2. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it was 0.1 to 0.2. But people say, you know, why do you bother? But, you know, you got to realize even on some of these trades that that didn't go, not that he lost money, he still made money, but it still was still worthwhile. And even sometimes when, for example, this one, which is like 1.3% on return, raw return, but because he held it only for 9 days, technically on a compounding basis for the entire year, that's still a 52% return. But then that money went somewhere else now to invest somewhere else better. So there's no shame in, or there's no worry in just getting a 1 or 2% return, because what happens is that they, you know, being paid constantly and getting that, for me, I believe, I don't know if this is true for you, Dennis, but getting these type of positive returns, whether how small they are, it just builds your confidence as well, because you're getting the wins on the board. Is that right?
Yep. And I think you mentioned this before, and I couldn't agree more, is that a profit is a profit, however small, however big. Yeah, so there's no need to put a target of sorts. If you get it high, it's good. If you get it low, that's fine. It's still a profit.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and a profit like that in a small amount of days, when you look on the annualized figure, it beats any bank putting in the bank. There is no bank that's going to pay you 50% in a year if you're holding something for 11 days, literally. And yeah, it's 1.5, but then that 1.5 now went somewhere else to make more money as well.
Correct.
Yeah. And Dennis, anything else you want to say while I'm on this section right now?
No, I think that's okay.
Okay, yeah. Cool. So I'm just scrolling down. You can see how just the consistency, and you can see how these stocks are all familiar stocks that you guys have all also invested in trading in as well. And a lot of these have been on our inner circle list. And I'm scrolling down from 1 to 2 to 3, a lot of 4s, also now going towards 5s. And then as I scroll down, a bunch of 6s, and then now 7s. And Dennis, if there's anything that you want to like point out to me, let me know. I can stop. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Now a lot of 8s, and now you're really talking now. Like he's holding. If I'm looking at these, they're literally held between 1 and 2 months on the majority of them, and earning that 8%, 9% in that 1 or 2 months is an extraordinary return. Actually, Dennis, I'd love to know, what does your wife say when because of obviously she's seeing this as well, what's your wife's reaction now?
Actually, she doesn't say much, to be honest. I mean, we went to a session together.
Yeah.
But at that point in time, we were like, okay, let me go first, and if it goes well, you can jump in.
Yeah.
But I think shortly after, the pregnancy and the child kept her a little bit more busy, so it just became me. And I mean, she's happy that things are going well.
Yeah.
Profits are coming in bit by bit. So we're generally very alright with it.
Yeah. Oh, that's very cool.
Happy to keep going.
Yeah. Nice. It's actually your results are that's why I say off the charts, because in total I did an average on them. This yellow box you had, you didn't. This was one that I just created with all my hot seats, where I just wanted to see an average return across the board from losses and wins, and of course, you know, the biggest losses. And this is the same. This is the part where if I scroll back, see how Wells Fargo. I think, Dennis, if you correct me if I'm wrong, is this the same trade, the second or third position you put on, because 8th of January 2021 you sold out. I'm just going to scroll back up. Yeah, there it is. So 8th of January, the biggest loss that Dennis had was minus 32%. So even though it looked really bad, along the way there were other Wells Fargo he picked up, but I just picked out. I realized also, while he had the biggest loss on Wells Fargo's was also the biggest gainer at 45%. So that easily neutralized that 32% loss anyway, plus more. And this one he only held for, rather than almost a year, he held for 78 days. So again, you know, not being comfortable with what you own and being able to buy another position allowed him to neutralize that loss as well. And across the board was roughly about 7%. Including losses, average. So every trade you put in, you made literally 7% in a 61-day period, Dennis. So 61 days was your average holding time. So every 2 months, you were able to generate roughly almost 7% on average across the board of all your trades. Out of them, you had 255 winners. 255 trades and a 244 win or profits out of 255. So your win or strike rate was 95.69%, which is incredible. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and your position size average is 0.9. So at different times while market risk was changing, Dennis was adjusting his position size. So over here, see 0.47, or let's say round it up to 0.5. Then this depends on his portfolio at the time. But generally, when it's 0.9, it's probably close to 1. 0.88 is probably 0.75. Would that be right, Dennis?
Yep.
Yeah. It wouldn't be exactly like 0.88. It will probably be 0.75 or as your portfolio is growing, then this is changing. But on average, it's roughly about not even 1%. But then these are the returns the return that he received. Yeah. Dennis, anything to say about this at all? Just because I know I don't know whether you did this, but I did this just before we jumped on. But with these type of results, what's your thoughts?
I honestly, personally, when I jumped on Freedom Traders, I only had one objective, that is to do better than doing nothing. Because at that point in time, all my money was just sitting in the bank, earning that less than 0.5% per annum interest. And I told myself, let's just do something that's better than that. And if it's better than that, that's good enough.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm really happy to see these kind of results. It beats our bank's interest by multiple times. So really. Yeah. Thank you for your teachings and all.
No worries. Can you imagine you go to OCBC Bank or UOB and you tell them, would you be able to give me 7% return in 61 days? I think they'll tell you to. They'll push you out the door.
Yeah, correct. Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. And then it's actually interesting how you had, in fact, when you first met me and you just wanted to get technically just a higher rate than a bank. So your expectations weren't even that high. So you're just wanting to make sure that you don't lose money and yet you can still get better returns than a bank. Yeah.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. You never know. The main thing is, for me, I would say that would it be correct to say, Dennis, that all you did was you learned, and then all you did was just one step in front of the other and just took action along the way. That was it.
Yeah. So started with going through Freedom Trader course, one stock at a time. When the profits start coming in, got a bit more confidence to do a bit more buys, and one step at a time, and keep following the system every day, establishing a routine, and that's that.
Yeah, no, really cool. And now going forward in the future, now seeing you're able to do this. I mean, this is pretty much the latest results that you've just given me. So now seeing this now going forward, what's your next step? Like, are you going to be scaling up more? Of course, you'll continue doing what you're doing, but were you going to be confident enough now to see that this does work, and then you're going to be scaling up when you've got more income or more assets putting into it?
Yeah. Honestly, I'm also thinking about scaling up the buys by 1 more percent, doubling the buys at the start of next year if things continue to go this well also. So as in, it's still 1% position size, but all of a bigger portfolio value, so that I'm more comfortable now to put in bigger buys to allow a bit more profit generation. 1%, 0.5, 0.75. Just that the denominator is a bigger portfolio base.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's been like 18 months, but now this is why I say, for everyone is very different. Dennis has a certain risk profile. You'll have a different risk profile. So again, everybody's different. Some people will see a result like this 3 months and just go, my God, this works. I'm now going to scale it. And some might say, I need 12 months, 18 months, whatever it may be. And the main thing is that you do it whatever you're comfortable with. So ultimately, success comes when you're comfortable, because if you rush it, it also doesn't work, because then you'll overcommit yourself financially, and then you start getting nervous, and then the results that you expected, that you had previously, because you're now nervous about it and potentially breaking rules that you used to do, then all the results now don't happen for you as well. So it's very important that you scale while you're comfortable and take the time you need. Yeah. Dennis, I want to know, so what impacts does, since you've been, 18 months now with Blueprint, what impact has Blueprint and Inner Circle, I guess, been for you in your finance plus your life?
I think finance-wise, it has taught me to look at the markets and stocks from another perspective. One important thing is to not be too swayed by headlines. That also to compare that to what does the data says. I think life-wise, it's it's not a lot of absolute profit yet. So things are still going about the same. But I'm definitely happy for this addition into my life, for this new routine that I'm doing every day. It's definitely worthwhile for the long time to come.
Yeah. Actually, Dennis, how old are you at the moment?
Let me think. 30. I'm born 1987, so I'm 34 this year.
34. Okay. Yeah. You've got a long time to go. So keep on doing this while you're compounding, and if you just keep on scaling, you're going to be even if another 10 more years. I mean, I'm 45, so in another 10 more years, the differential of where you are now getting these type of results, it'll be amazing in terms of the journey wise that you'll have.
Thank you, Terry. You're very kind. Thank you.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I'd love to know, if you were to start all over again, like start from scratch, what one or two, because you've been doing this for now 18 months, what one or two major lessons or actions would you say that you could share with the people who are on the line listening to you?
I think looking back at my experience, one important reflection or lesson is not to be afraid of market pullbacks, because they are actually windows of opportunity to buy good stocks at bargain prices. That's where profits coming from also. The other thing is when profits come in, also not to be too overconfident and start scaling up or buying more. Give yourself that bit of time to experience things on a longer and on a more consistent basis. And then when you're really comfortable, then you start scaling up.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So hopefully everyone got that, guys. It's like, don't get overconfident right away, even though you might get the short-term results. It's better to be consistent and then see the consistency over a period of time and then start scaling up. So definitely that's a lesson that definitely learn that from Dennis, from his own mouth. Yeah. Dennis, I probably know the answer already. Would you recommend people be part of Blueprint and Inner Circle?
Definitely.
It's awesome. I'm actually looking forward to hopefully the lockdowns finish and then finally I can get back to Singapore and meet you guys as well.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. So yeah, cool. I'd love to know any questions you guys have for Dennis. Just type it in. Okay. Dennis, Zach's got. Can you give a 30-second brief of your Freedom Trader daily routine? Great question, Zach.
Okay. So for Zach and for everyone who wants to know, so I start looking at my portfolios at about 1 hour after the market opens. And then I go through my current holds to see if there's anything to sell first based on technicals. Once I've done that, I'll look at my buy watch list to look at if there's anything to buy. Also based on technicals. The buy watch list are already a filtered list with all the fundamentals researched and waiting for the technicals to hit the right spot for RSI and STO. Once that is done, then I'm done for the day. Typically, the entire process takes about an hour. If there's nothing much to do, if there's a bit more things to do, 1.5 hours.
Yeah. So just a recount, it's actually very similar to mine. So his first thing, Dennis, say if I'm wrong again, please correct me. So first thing is obviously different time zones. With me, I do it, when the market's already closed. I do it simply because I'm in Sydney. But with him, his first point of call is checking the current portfolio for the sales. So because he's already in it, our first position as a trader is always to find out which ones can we get rid of or can we sell at a profit. So that's his first point. And then the second point is the ones who's that's already been researched. He's now after the sale, then he now goes on to the buying side, and then looks for the ones who are already being researched, ready to go, but is now looking for the technical point to get into the stock based on RSI and SPO. Yeah, is that right, Dennis?
Yep, correct.
Yeah. So it's actually exactly the same what I do as well. So Dennis, I'm doing exactly the same as you, which is good. Which is awesome. Yeah. So any other questions, guys, for Dennis? Okay, I don't think there's any more, which is awesome. Yeah, I just see a lot of I don't, Dennis, don't know whether you can see the chats. You probably can. Just a lot of people just saying awesome, incredible results, and a lot of the what does JB? Shirley's got what does JB stand for in your comments? I think it's this one.
Oh, okay. JB stands for Jeff Brown. So that's another sideline newsletter that I sign up for myself to open up the window of opportunities to research on top of what's on Inner Circle. Yep. So that's a little bit more spending one time more for me to have more different type of stocks to start researching on also. Okay. Besides what you offer on Inner Circle as well.
Sure. Yeah. So that's another. So for those sometimes utilize Inner Circle, and if you feel like you want even more opportunities, there's obviously other newsletters as well. Some are great, some are not that so great. So therefore, just be careful of those types. And for Dennis, JB or Jeff Brown does work for you.
Yep.
So cool. Thanks for that, Dennis. And Dennis, Fiona and Richard asked, do you buy any Australian stocks?
No, not at the moment.
No. Okay. Yeah. So Dennis, I think it's very different because he's in Singapore, and with the stocks that we talk about sometimes, he's not familiar with them, because they're not global. They're only based in Australia. So then, in a way, it's probably not as comfortable buying, say, a US global stock that has products in Singapore as well. And same here, when I go to Singapore, I see a lot of some Singaporean stocks, and I'm not comfortable buying Singapore stocks because I've never heard of them. So same thing as well. Okay, and Dennis, there's a company about do you do valuations from Beck?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, thanks.
Apart from banking stocks, which I learned from you to also look at the PB ratio.
Yeah, the price to book. Yeah. Okay, and I say Xander's got what's 12 out of 12 on FinViz, the extra 2.
Those are the other than the 10 criteria that you have. There's also 2 more in your Freedom Trader course. Often I can't remember what are those 2 exact criteria, but I have them to tick against. Those are the earlier parts of the my trading journey when I do 12 out of 12 just to have the extra layer of safety.
Right. Okay.
Thereafter, I felt a bit more comfortable. Then I kept to 10.
Right. Okay. On FinViz. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Rika's got what buy up to dollar. Rika, this is going to be very different to everybody. So on the dollar side, this would depend on your. It's got nothing to do with dollar based on, it really ultimately depends on your account. So if someone who has a $1 million account versus someone with a $100,000 account, then it's going to be very different as well. So that's why I don't talk about my dollars, because sometimes it will scare people because it's taken me so long to build it to this account as well over a 25-year period. My dollar size will, if I said that, it's probably an entire someone's portfolio. So I don't like scaring people that way. So everybody will be very different from dollar, but utilizing percentage is far better because 0.7% or 0.75 is the same across the board from everybody. Yeah. So yeah, Dennis, I think that's about it. There's no other questions coming through. So Dennis, I just want to say thank you for being on the call and sharing your experience and sharing your what's occurred over the last 18 months, and really, really good to see the results that you've achieved in this short 18-month period, especially through Corona.
Yeah, I also want to say thank you, Terry, for these teachings in Inner Circle since the start of my journey here. And I think Isabel's online, so I just want to say thank you to her for introducing me to this.
Oh, she's online, is she? Oh, yeah, she is too. Oh, Isabel, yeah. I was going to actually send an email to Isabel. I wasn't sure she was online. that Dennis. I did a hot seat with Dennis. So Isabel just said welcome.
So thank you to both of you.
Yeah, no worries. I wonder if Christy's also online as well. So it's really cool to see a bunch of Singaporeans on the line as well, because I know sometimes time zones different. Yeah, but with these days, I think Corona means that you're working at home, so more overseas people are coming on board now, rather than watching the replay. So really cool. Yeah, thanks everyone. So and thanks Dennis for really congrats for the awesome result that you've got. Really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for that. Hopefully you found Dennis's hot seat enlightening and also inspiring as well. Yeah. Thanks, Dennis. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Thank you, Terry.
No problem.